All right. Well, good morning, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Jeff. Welcome to the Rocky Mountain ASTA Business Builder session for March 2024. Today, I am joined by Missy Wilson, and
No,
Helen Enriquez. They are two of the powerhouses behind Akasha Travel Partners. This is a really great firm that I met at last year's Travel Advisor Conference, and they're going to be here this year. So I know we have a bunch of people who are in Europe for the River Cruise Expo. I hope you all had a wonderful time. And this is a great session to come back to and watch on YouTube in a few days. So, Missy, thanks so much for joining us. I'll hand it off to you and looking forward to it.
great. Well, thank you, Jeff, so much for having us. It's such an honor for us to be able to speak to an ASTA chapter. We absolutely love ASTA and being involved in as many ways as we can. So, and like you mentioned, Jeff, we will be at the Travel Advisor convention in May in Dallas. So for anybody that's interested, please stop by and say hi. We would love to welcome you. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and get started. So my name is Missy Wilson. A little bit about me. I have been in the travel marketing space for about 10 years now. I have worked on the agency side, managing marketing operations as a director. I've worked on the supplier side, and I'm also on supplier side here now as well as the consortia. So I've got a pretty good grasp on marketing within the industry, the struggles that advisors face every single day with advisors, the realities of it, the challenges of it, but also the wonderful things that marketing brings to advisors. With this series, I wanted to try and make it as introductory as I can to be able to reach out to as many people as possible. As advisors, I know everybody kind of can be at different levels depending on just how into marketing you get, or if it's so overwhelming that you don't even know where to go to. So I'm going to kind of go through the building blocks of you, if you will, of marketing. So learning about what marketing is and really building your way up to it. So let's see. Oh, will my screen change? Nope. Give me 2 seconds. Okay, there we go. All right, so the agenda that I've put together for today. I first want to talk a little bit more about Akasha Travel Partners and who we are, the fears and myths of marketing. So kind of those things that can make marketing a little bit intimidating in the advisor space, why marketing is important. How does the travel industry market? So what are other peers doing, as well as how to make marketing work for you throughout everything that we cover within this presentation. So here is our small but mighty team. We are Akasha Travel Partners. We are a female-owned and operated project management, business operations, and development team specializing in tourism technology. We do both custom development as well as third-party integrations with the product that we do have, covering CRM, social media, email marketing campaigns, website, forms, you name it, we have it and we can do it. So again, like we said, we're going to be over at in Dallas this year, and we would love for you to stop by our booth and find out a little bit more information. So I've put together some different fears and myths of things that I have not only seen, but have been said to me by advisors over the last 10 years, and any sort of apprehension that kind of comes up with marketing. So I've heard you have to be a marketer to have a successful business. The only way to market is through a supplier. Marketing is too expensive. You have to post on social media every single day. Marketing takes way too much time away from selling. You have to have a presence on all social media platforms. And my personal favorite that was said to me by a former coworker advisor was, I don't need marketing. My amazing service is what brings clients back. So obviously, yes, travel advisors' service and expertise in customer service is absolutely a selling point to bringing clients back. But as we go through this presentation, you'll understand a little bit more about that relationship there, that you need that marketing aspect. So you are a travel advisor. You're not a marketer, and that is okay. But the important thing that you have to remember is you have to understand and participate in marketing so you can continue to do what you do best, and that is sell travel. So many times advisors can be apprehensive about marketing because time is money. We all know that. It takes so much time to put together your quotes and your reservations and communicate back and forth with suppliers and do all of the nitty-gritty things that you do to be able to get your sales and get your commissions brought in. But with that, the only way that you're going to continue bringing in all of those sales and getting all those commissions is if you are actively marketing in conjunction with your sales. So, why is marketing important? And I found this definition, and it specifically highlights towards why travel marketing is so important. And it's about bringing value to your customers. And it's a strategic process with understanding your customer needs and desires and what it is that they're looking for and what they want to book with you. And the main goal of travel marketing is to create a preference for your clients to choose you over the competition. So knowing what your competition is doing, how you can adjust that to make you stand out better from the competition, and really hone in on what it is that your specific clients are looking for and what you can do to bring them back into you. So with all of this, there's a symbiotic relationship between sales and marketing. It's not just sales and it's not just marketing. They have to work cohesively together. So whenever marketing puts out whether that's you or if you have a dedicated marketing department, whenever a marketing campaign is put out to the masses, trying to pull in somebody to come in and book with you, that insight goes into the sales team because then you brought in a sale. You're able to close that and you're able to get the commission. And after that booking has been made, you're able to collect all sorts of data to know the age groups of your clients and what destinations it is that your clients are interested in and what budget they're in. And so then you're able to hone that into your next marketing campaign and know this quarter we've been booking tons of the Caribbean. So now let's start working on more Caribbean campaigns to be able to keep going and bring in more sales. So with that, that is market segmentation. And an important thing about market segmentation is basically it's understanding exactly who your clients are that are booking trips with you. So then whenever it comes down to you taking the time to put together any sort of marketing, that you're able to be quick and efficient and make smarter decisions so then you can get back as fast as you can to closing the sales. So with that, let me see if I can zoom in on this a little bit because I know it's a little bit small, some of the text here, but I wanted to be able to get all of it in on the slide. So first part of market segmentation is segmenting. So what is that? And that is looking at the clients who have booked with you, whether you use CRM or you don't, depending however you store your clients who have booked with you. It's looking at your clients and dividing up based on their demographic, their psychographic, their behaviors, as well as their geographic location. So being able to know exactly who is your client, who are your clients. And then you go into targeting. So whenever you're ready to start working on some sort of campaign, you sit there and think, who exactly out of my client base am I wanting to target? Who is it out of all of my customers that I really want to hone in on? So for example, I've said somebody that's age 55 plus with a household income of 250,000 in a life cycle of empty nesters and who are retired. And so then looking at the position between the segments and the targets is how you sit there and you come up with your campaigns. So for this example, I've chosen Region 7 Seas Cruises. I mean, who of us doesn't want to book a Region 7 Seas Cruises and see that commission come in? So we know that within that age bracket, that income and that life cycle, that is your target Region 7 Seas client. And so now with our marketing campaign, we're going to sit there and think about how we want to position our campaign with a promoting a wave season offer with a price point of $6,500 per person. And where do we want to put this at? Let's try putting it on Facebook and let's do an email campaign as well. So that's kind of a little bit of an overview of the breakdown of looking into the campaigns and how all of that kind of comes and takes shape. And I'm going to zoom out on that a little bit. There we go. And oh, 1 second. There we go. Okay, so we've kind of gone over a little bit of those fears and myths that we have about marketing, which all of those were false. And then we kind of looked into why is marketing important. And so now let's sit here and think about, how does the travel industry market? What are your peers doing? And I found this really great survey done by Travel Weekly, and it was a collection of data over 2023 that looks at the social media platforms that advisors use to promote travel, social media used by age of advisors, how advisors attract and keep their clients, as well as how advisors communicate with their clients. So as you look at some of these, think about what it is that you're doing and how you compare it to other people within the industry as well. So this graph right here from the report shows the social media platforms used to promote travel by advisors. And it's broken down by year. So you can kind of see how different trends ebb and flow as the years go on and as new different types of social media come out, as well as different ages of advisors as well. But overall, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn are your top 3 used by advisors to be able to promote their travel. So depending on what your market looks like, if you're not engaged in any of these social media platforms, maybe use that to consider, would that be a good platform for me to get into? Then social media platform usage by age. So you can see the different breakdowns. We have light green is for advisors who are under 36 years old. Pink is for 36 to 45. Light blue is 46 to 55. Navy is 56 to 65. And yellow is over 65. So based on this chart, you can kind of see that it looks like for over 65, that Facebook is definitely still the most used, as well as, let's see, Instagram, which is kind of tied between LinkedIn. One thing that Helen is my boss who's also on this call. I don't know if anybody got to see her early on, but we were kind of examining this list here, and we thought it was really interesting about how a very high percentage of those under 36 use Pinterest successfully for marketing. And one thing that we were kind of talking about with this is how Pinterest had originally came out towards the millennial and Gen Z generation, and it was really heavily used and still is even now. And for a lot of people who don't know what Pinterest is, it's just like Google. It's a search engine essentially, but instead of you seeing hyperlinks that show up whenever you type in something you want to search, instead you get served graphics. And as an advisor, it's great to see that advisors do use it, because it's another way of reaching out to your clients. And one way that we were talking about that's a great way of using that is if on your website, if you put together blogs and being able to share them on Pinterest and being able to drive traffic to your website. So say you want to do something like the top 5 all-inclusive resorts in Riviera Maya, and being able to have that on Pinterest and direct the traffic to your website. You have a whole new reach of clients that have came over to you, and then they're on your website and can be able to go through to contact you, and then you have a new lead. So something to kind of think about right there, especially for anybody that's of an older demographic in the chapter, of something new that you can try out. So here is how advisors attract and keep their clients. So there's a wide range of options here, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit because some of the text on this report is a little bit small. So we have free social media, website, email, customer events, charity and community events, flyers, paid online ads, virtual events, e-newsletters, text messaging, bulletin boards, newspaper ads, and radio ads. So if there's something on here that you haven't tried before or something that you haven't thought about, here's a wide range of different opportunities that you could try to knock into with your marketing. But for sure, the top 3 options are social media, website, and email that most advisors use to bring in new clients. and to keep their clients as well, which is a great way of touch points with customers, especially now in a digital age. Let's see, I'm going to zoom out. There we go. Ooh, oh my goodness. Bear with me with the technical issues here. Okay, can I just go to the, great. Okay, so how advisors communicate with clients. So we have emails, phone calls, text messages, social media messaging, messaging apps, as well as video conferencing. So you can absolutely see that email is by far the highest way that clients communicate back and forth with their advisors. It's absolutely simple and easy. It's all digital, and you don't have to sit and worry about getting onto a phone call and missing each other back and forth. But also, I do like to see that text messaging is an option on here as well, because that's something that gives a personal one-on-one connection with your client. But if that's not something that you wanting to do, giving your personal phone number out to clients, unless there's somebody that you're really comfortable with, but certainly something to think about as well. So with all of this information kind of put together, how do you sit and make marketing work for you? It's very daunting to kind of sit and think about all of the different components that go into marketing, especially whenever a lot of advisors are independent contractors. They don't have a team that works beneath them to be able to take care of all of the aspects into running an agency. And so it's, how do you find enough time in the day to take care of all of your selling aspects as well as all of your marketing aspects? So with this portion, I want to kind of break it down to you and say, at a minimum, these are the things to at least be starting out with. And if you aren't doing them, why you should be doing them. So at a minimum, especially in a digital age, to promote your agency effectively, you should at least be participating in some social media, email marketing, as well as website. And based off of the reports that we've seen through Travel Weekly, you can tell that the majority of the industry is also doing that as well. So I'm going to go ahead and get us kicked off with social media. So this part is incredibly daunting. Social media, there's so many platforms. There are so many different algorithms and things that you have to take into account. And even for me, as an experienced marketer, especially in travel, it's even daunting for me. But the first thing that I want to say is be on the right platforms for you. That does not mean that you have to be on every single platform. That is not what you should be doing by any means. Then secondly is quality over quantity in the type of content that you are putting out onto your social media, as well as the level of consistency that you're putting into it. So let's kind of break these three aspects down a little bit. So I'm referencing again from the Travel Weekly report of what other advisors in the industry are using as their platforms based on their age bracket, which probably also reflects highly into the target demographic of their clientele and which platforms they're using. So a big part of this is understanding who your target client is. Who are the people that you actually want to reach out to? And the best way to do that is by reaching out to them on social media. The thing with social media is that a lot of people reference social media and instantly to try and find a business on there and prove the validity of that company if they're on social media and if they're using other type of marketing methods as well. So being sure that you have some sort of page on the target demographic that you're looking at, whether it's 1, 2, or 3, whatever your preference is, what you are able to manage. But as long as there's something, you're already going to be setting yourself up for success. So overall, a big takeaway is if you don't have the time to do more than 2 or 3, then at least do 1 really well, and you will already be doing so well. So quality over quantity. Don't post something just to post something. I see this a lot with advisors that we've worked one-on-one with, as well as other advisors that I personally follow on social media, is the perception of, well, I have to just have something out there. But the reality is that's a waste of your time to just put something out to put something out. So make sure that whatever content it is that you are putting together, that it actually has meaning to it, so that then your followers want to engage with it and you see some sort of return on the work and effort that you put into that post to get it out there. And it's better for you to do 1 or 2 high quality posts per week versus 5 to 7 posts that are low quality each week. So what is it that I mean by high quality and low quality and just putting something out to put something out? So I've taken some examples, and these are from real advisors that I personally follow on my social media. I blacked out their names because I don't want to risk them being found out here. But this first low quality post, and I'm going to zoom in just a little bit more. We may have more of those technical difficulties that I've been having, but we'll make it through. So with this low quality post, this there was a hashtag right here, and it was associated with a consortia. So I wanted to kind of block that out so you didn't know exactly which one, but this was content that was provided by a consortia to an advisor, which is a wonderful thing to take advantage of. You should absolutely be using those because those are great resources to help you not have to think about content and get it up. But the difference is taking that content and making it personalized to you and actually making it meaningful. So for this one, it gives a kind of brief description about this supplier that is listed here. But you'll see right here where there's supposed to be a link to an article and a call to action, that it's just empty text. It was never properly completed. And so instead of this being meaningful to any of this advisor's followers, nobody engaged with it. So while, yes, this advisor put something out on their social media, it isn't anything that's brought value either to the advisor or to their follower. So whenever somebody's following a page and they're not seeing any content that is worthwhile to them or that they get some sort of benefit out of it, that's whenever you start to lose followers and you lose the benefit of potentially bringing in new leads. So what this advisor could have done here would be, first of all, to probably create a hashtag that was more personalized and branded to her. Obviously, the consortia hashtags are great for the consortias reaching out to advisor communities, but whenever you're reaching out to clients, that doesn't necessarily mean anything to them. It doesn't resonate with them because they don't know what a consortia is. Instead, they want to know about you. So sitting there and thinking about what branded hashtags you could come up with, or even mentioning a hashtag for the destination. So right here, we're talking about Paris. So that would be a great segue. The other thing is to have some sort of personalized call to action that would be for the advisor themselves. So a great way to do that would be driving traffic back to the advisor's website. That way the person is being able to find out more information and potentially even fill out a contact us form to be able to create a new quote. So with that, I want to transition over a little bit to a high quality post. So this post right here, it tagged the travel advisor that works for the agency. I took out the last name and talked about how Allie planned an unforgettable honeymoon for her clients in #Belize. She arranged stays at the secluded Sweet Songs Jungle Lodge and the stunning beachfront Mata Chica with Way to Go tours. Check out some of the photos they shared with us. Allie or one of our knowledgeable travel advisors would be happy to plan your trip to Belize or even plan your honeymoon. So this is a great example of giving your followers valid information about your social media posts. So who the travel advisor is, if you have multiple staff members, that is, and what destinations they went to, as well as what suppliers were used. That is a great way for you to also broaden your relationship that you have with any of your preferred suppliers as well, is being able to show them that you are actively booking those. And you're able to show to your clients and followers on social media of the amazing things that you can do and that they can experience as well. And so one thing that this type of content is called is UGC, or user generated content. This is a very easy way for you to collect content from those of your clients who have traveled and be able to reshare it on your social media, on your website, on e-newsletters. It can be used in a multitude of ways. But of course, before you actually go and post it live on anything, you always want to be sure that you get the permission from your clients to be able to post this. So it could be part of your sales process as well. Whenever a client returns back, you're sending your thank you notes, you're sending your follow-up notes to see how their trip was. A great idea is to be able to slip in a message and say, hey, if you wouldn't mind, would you be able to leave a review, or would you be willing to share some of your travel photos with me so I can share them on my social media and on my website? So those are just some quick and easy ways that you can really amp up your social media and the difference between what your low quality and what your high quality content would look like. Let's see. So I'm gonna go through the process of zooming out here again. Let's see. Aha. All right. So consistency. Let's talk about that a little bit with social media. Oftentimes, a lot of people will say to me or out in the industry, well, what time should I be posting? What day should I be posting? And just wanting a solid answer. And the reality is that there isn't a solid answer, because it is different for every single company and every single person out there in the industry, because it's all about your followers, when your followers are online and when they're ready to actively engage. And so the big thing with this is there has to be a little bit of a trial and error process. So if you've been posting at, say, 10 a.m. And then 2 p.m. and then 8 p.m. and notice kind of these weird flows where maybe you have some people engaging, maybe you don't have people engaging. But then all of a sudden you start realizing that at 9 p.m. your followers are engaging. Then maybe that's some indication of putting your posts live at that time, so you're getting the most engagement out of your followers. So as an example, it would be better, you know, instead of, if you don't have the bandwidth to post 5 days a week or 7 days a week, that it's better to post either 1 day or 2 days a week at the same time, on the same days, within a time frame that your followers are most engaged with, to be consistent. So with being consistent, this is able to allow your followers to know when to expect to see your content. They're going to be able to see it more frequently at the top of their feeds versus seeing it served to them maybe even days after you had originally posted it. So as long as you have that level of consistency, that is what's going to be able to bring you brand recognition to your followers on social media. So you have to kind of go through a little trial and error. You've got to kind of practice and figure out what exactly that sweet spot is. But whatever is most manageable for you within your business and social media, as long as you are consistent with it, as long as you think about the quality of it, and you don't try to go crazy and post on every single social media platform, that will help you to really make it a lot more manageable and for you to really hone in on what your starting out social media strategy will be. And of course, over time, the more that you work with social media, the more comfortable that you're going to get. And so over time, you may start to add on another platform, or maybe you'll add a couple more posts per week. You may try to even go up to paid ad campaigns. There's a lot of different options of things that you can do with social media, but just remember, just hone in and make it manageable for you. And so here I've also got what exactly do you want to create with your social media and how do you post it? So some ideas of different things that you can do with free social media content would be the user-generated content and testimonials that we talked about earlier. And of course, always get permission from your clients before you actually post that onto any sort of social media platform. One advisor that I follow, which I wish I would have put in an example of it, so I apologize for that. But one advisor that I follow is really great about posting recently booked trips that she has done. So she'll either take a screenshot um, of pictures from a resort or an itinerary that she just booked and say, "Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for my client. They're going on a 7-night Danube cruise with AMA Waterways and for their anniversary." And right there, you have the opportunity of showcasing what types of things you're booking, but also putting into your followers on social media of what they could experience for themselves too. So you can even just turn your own day-to-day sales and repurpose them again as social media content. Links to your website content. So if you have a blog on your website, or if you have a quote referral form on your website, if you have some sort of articles or some sort of promotional offering that you have on your website, a great thing to do is to have that linked as a social media post. So not only are you hitting the people that are already following onto your social media, now you're driving them to your website, which ultimately is where you really want to bring your clients at the end of the day. Excuse me. Another great thing to do is even like special holidays. So in the travel industry, we have Plan for Vacation Day in January. So sitting down and encouraging your clients to come and book a trip today. You could even do something like we just had with St. Patrick's Day, talking about different destinations within Ireland and maybe some different packages. You can do things around Christmas time, talking about the Christmas markets and just so many different possibilities around just general holidays that we celebrate and how you can kind of turn that into an opportunity for social media content, as well as agency events. So say your agency has won an award. That's absolutely something you want to showcase on social media because it's something that is promoting your brand and showing how amazing and wonderful you are, which we all, of course, already know. But so you may have won awards. Maybe you're doing a supplier night and you're doing some co-op marketing with a supplier and you want to be able to bring in new clients on social media so you have higher attendance. And maybe you do some sort of, if you have a staff agency and you have a brick and mortar and you do something really fun within your office, you have some sort of party or any sort of maybe a supplier comes in and they do a training with you. Those are great things to share on social media too. So just really kind of sit down and look at your business from end to end. And there's a lot of different opportunities of things that you can come up with as content for social media without really even having to think so far out of the box as sometimes social media can come off. So how exactly do you get to posting it, especially whenever your lives are so busy? It's so hard to juggle all of those things. And a great way to do this is through a social media scheduler. For us at Akasha Travel Partners, we utilize these Zoho products for everything that we do within our business operations, as well as what we do for our clients. So what we use for our own social media scheduling is a product called Zoho Social. And the great thing about the Zoho suites is that they integrate with every single product. So within your CRM, within your website, within your email campaigns, within any sort of forms, everything completely integrates together. So that's why we use Zoho personally. So that's a great option, but there are many different social media schedulers out there. It's all about which one is the best for you to use. Obviously, we always want to keep price, especially at a kind of baseline level with marketing, keep that into consideration. So whenever you're looking at those different schedulers, if you're not already actively using one, usually the prices are pretty low comparatively, but see what works best for your business expenses. Okay, so I'm going to take one sip of water real quick. And I'm going to go into email marketing. So email can be a very intimidating part as well, because again, it's coming up with content and it's getting it out there. And there's a lot of different avenues that you can go with email marketing. And especially whenever you get to maybe those higher levels of marketing, it's ideal to be able to target and segment your email campaigns, especially if you want to do like a supplier promotion, or if there's a certain destination that you want to highlight. Usually you would want to work on that target and segmenting that we mentioned more towards the beginning. But when trying to make it manageable to you, especially whenever you're working on all those great things that we talked about with social media, you want to sit there and think about, how can I make it manageable on an e-newsletter side? And a great way of doing that is a once a month e-newsletter. Once a month isn't too bad, right? So what exactly could you include inside of your email campaigns? And some great options of what you can include would be themed letters. So maybe if it's a certain time of the year, or something happening within your agency that you want to cover, you can position that as a letter. You can give company updates, as well as destination or supplier highlights, links to your social media and your website. So again, kind of trying to keep your clients in that same universe together, as well as your contact information or any special events. And so you do all of this through an email service provider. And one thing that I definitely have to stress to advisors, and I've experienced this before, is advisors wanting to send mass email campaigns to their client list through Outlook or Google or Gmail, Yahoo, AOL, whatever it may be. That is a big no-no. You always want to send large emails to those who have subscribed to your emails or have given you permission to be able to communicate with them over email, is through an email service provider. Whenever you use programs like Gmail to send an email list to, say, 100 plus people, that's whenever you're going to start to be marked as spam, and you can get in trouble for that, as well as it can even shut down your email service. So to avoid that, always be sure whenever you're sending mass emails that you always do it safely through an email service provider. So as I kind of mentioned previously, within Zoho products, us at Akasha, we use Zoho campaigns for everything. And I'm going to give you an example of one of them. So this is one of our clients at Better Kate Than Never Adventures. And I'm going to, it should work here. Okay. So I wanted to come into the online version of it so you could really see the whole thing. So this is her monthly e-newsletter campaign. She does also do other email campaigns, but she loves to kind of have either some sort of a theme each month, and also list any other opportunities or things that are happening within her agency. So we go ahead and we bring in the first name for every single person that's on her client list. And you can easily do that within Zoho campaigns and other email service providers. It just gives that personal touch between you and the client that you're sending the email to. And what she wanted to do is start to promote people thinking about where they wanted to go for summer vacation. And so she went to some of the suppliers that she's really wanting to highlight right now and pulled itineraries together for them. And each one of these links to her, it's either her Travefy. Yeah. She has a Travefy account. And so each of these links to her Travefy account. So they're able to stay again within her universe. But if you don't have Travefy or utilize that within your business, a great place to be able to have those to live would be within your website. So the links would take her there. She also just launched a book club for travel readers. So it's another segment within her business. So she wanted to put out an announcement that this is going to be coming soon, and she'll be sending an email out and would love for people to consider joining her book club. She also has links to be able to schedule appointments with her to be able to talk about travels for the year. And then she also has a landing page on her website with all of the offers that she's highlighting right now from suppliers. And then at the bottom, she has links to her website, social media, as well as to her email. So that's an example of what you could do with a monthly newsletter, and taking all these different components within your business, condensing them into one email, and then you're solid until the next month whenever you have to think about it again. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so we have talked about social media and we have talked about email marketing. So now let's talk website a little bit. And most people should have a website at this point, especially because we are a completely digital world. But for some people, they're still a little bit apprehensive about a website. Maybe they only want to use social media, or maybe they strictly just want to stick to email, sending emails back and forth. And I absolutely understand that, because it's still a lot of work to put together into a website. But especially now, whenever you're trying to work on that lead generation and you're trying to bring in more people, and especially as boomers and the silent generation are growing older, you want to keep going to reach out to those younger generations, so then you can keep your client flow moving along, especially whenever all those different age ranges and life cycles start to kick in. So having a website is absolutely something that you need to have, and utilizing it and maintaining it. So why exactly is it that you need a website? And I found this list from LinkedIn about a couple different reasons about why travel advisors specifically need to have a website. First of all, it gives you credibility. All of us, want to do business with people who are credible businesses. And so the majority of the time, if somebody can find your business on the internet and they're able to find you on social media, that gives them that credibility of, yes, I'm working with the right person. It gives you the ability to personalize and to be able to brand and give your company a voice and a shape, if you will. Attracting travelers to your niche. If you specialize in river cruising and somebody goes to the internet and says, river cruising travel agent, then that's already going to be giving you an advantage of being able to come up in those search results. Visuals to help grow your business. So being able to show images of destinations and showing what you're capable of doing with your hard work. Access to your contact information. So then they know how to call you, how to email you. Knowledge of the industry. If anybody remembers a time called 2020, then you certainly remember the ever-changing landscape of the COVID-19 policies and how all of that was working. So being able to have a dedicated space where people can always stay up to date on what's actually happening within the industry and within the world. Share your testimonials. There's so much value in getting testimonials from your clients. It's something that you can have on your website, in your e-newsletters, on your social media, and it's building your credibility to showing how amazing you are at what you do every day. Again, attracting millennial and Gen Z clients. So you're hitting that younger demographic to be able to keep your client lists growing throughout life cycles, as well as your accessory to marketing efforts. Like we talked about on social media or in e-newsletters, putting content out there and having it linked to your website. So you're able to drive that traffic and create what's called an omni-channel approach, which essentially means one tactic with multiple pinpoints, so that somebody is able to connect with you. Maybe they don't see it here, but they see it here and here. And so it's that whole connection of the environment and world that you create for your followers and your clients. So what types of things should you include within your website? Some great type of content that you should have would be testimonials, e-newsletter sign up, making it easy for somebody to hop onto your website, sign up, you've got a new lead. Contact information for you, the destinations and suppliers that you specialize in, links to your social media accounts, so then you're able to gain more followers. Quote request form, so somebody who's wanting to actively start a trip with you, as well as if you have a blog, that is a great place for all of that content to live on. That again, you repurpose throughout social media and e-marketing as well. And the best way to do all this is through a website manager. There are many different website managers. Again, we use Zoho products, so we use Zoho Sites for our social media, and all of that is integrated together. So whenever somebody fills out a contact us form, that information goes straight into our CRM and they're generated as a new lead. And we're able to follow through on that journey with them, all integrated into one product. So I'm going to show an example of a website. This is our client that I showcased on the e-newsletter from Better Kate, the Never Adventures. Now, I will say she does not use Zoho Sites. This is the website that she had before she started working with us as a client, and we deemed that she should stick with the website that she already had. This right here, what she does is she does this as a lead magnet. So encouraging people to take a quiz on her website and entering their name and their email address in. As soon as they enter in their information, then they are added into her system as a new lead and generating into her email campaigns. So you can kind of see all of the different ways that you can actively bring in new clients into your world. So on here, she has all sorts of landing pages for the things that she specializes in, the different types of promotions that she's actively going after. She specializes in Disney for adults, so providing more information. Other destinations she specializes in, testimonials, different photo galleries, travel articles for her blog. She has a page about the planning fees that she has, why they are part of her business, and how all of that works for her clients, as well as contact her. And then she has full of information on her website with how she operates and the different things that she can do. Here is her book club, so that directing back to her other website for her book club and social media, and then breaking down to her clients about why it is you want to work with Advisor. So there's all sorts of different things that you can put into your website and educate your clients about who you are and why it is that they should choose you over anybody else that they find out on the internet. Okay. All right. So with that, in summary, we kind of talked about so many different things, with different ways of creating omni-channel approaches through social media, e-marketing, as well as the website, why it is that we want to market and it needs to happen, how marketing is related in the sales process with one another, as well as different products that we can use to implement in our marketing strategy to help us make it manageable and make it easier to balance with all of the hard and busy work that it takes to go into booking clients and getting them on their trips and getting your commissions in your pocket. So with that, thank you so much for your time. I absolutely appreciate getting the opportunity to speak with all of you today. And for anybody who's going to be in Dallas, please feel free to stop at our booth and visit us. If you have, for anybody that is watching the recorded session on this, please feel free to reach out to me over email at mwilson@akashatravelpartners.com if you have any questions or you would like any sort of information. Myself or one of my teammates, we'd be more than happy to help you out.
So thank you, Missy. That was fantastic. So I'm sure some people watching this are going to remember I come from the tech world, and I remember 20 years ago that all the internet was ablaze about blogging. Where do you see content marketing and blogs as a valuable thing to spend time on? I mean, AI might be making some of it easier, though there's a ton of ton of gotchas there. I was recently playing with AI and it completely made up stuff that was never real.
Right.
It's called hallucinations. It's amazing. So, but is that something that we should be spending time on? And is there value to just writing articles for our own websites that people may or may not be visiting?
I do think that there's value. And when I did marketing previously at an agency, how we utilized blogs was by doing reviews of the properties that we would visit on fam trips. So and then taking that and putting it out onto our social media, putting out in our emails, in any channel that we could, because then it's promoting the properties that we visited, as well as being able to put an in-depth description of what it was that we experienced. What was the food really like? What was the level of the space within the room? What type of events did we get to experience on excursions or whatever it was? But it was more of a detail, at least how we utilized it. It was a detailed experience or written experience from what travel experience we had. So I think that definitely in that type of space, it's absolutely worth it. Now, AI wouldn't be able to replace that's something that you would have to sit down and dedicate the time to write about. But yes, I do think that there is value in it, especially for clients that say they've never traveled abroad before and they aren't really sure what to expect. Being able to give like a destination recap, different types of maybe ethics or how currency works or what language barriers there are, kind of giving that more detailed view of what a destination is or a certain resort. It's giving access to your clients and your followers more information about what they can expect and what value you have versus them going to Expedia and booking a trip. It's what information can you give them showing why you are different and setting apart from just some sort of engine that you could book on online.
And I think there's this, I think maybe I fall into this trap. I don't know how many other people fall into this trap of extremely high production quality of things, right? Like we don't just want to put a picture on social media. Someone like me, or my trap is that I want it to be like almost professionally shot, but I can't afford a photographer into some random resort, right? So is there a trade-off there? Is it better to use maybe more, handy cam type photos, or not the perfectly wordsmithed article for a blog? Does it create a better human aspect to it? Does it matter? I mean, where's the balance that we should strike with that kind of thing?
Especially for an advisor where time is of the essence and not having all of the marketing equipment, but I think there's a lot to be said for organic, authentic content. Helen and I, we were actually just talking about this yesterday, talking about how when I am thinking about going to a new resort, the first thing that I do is I go on to TripAdvisor and I don't click at the marketing photos. I click on the traveler photos. I want to know exactly what it looks like. And it wasn't positioned for me by a resort of what they want me to see. It's what the other travelers had experienced. So as an advisor, when you're putting out content on your own website or your own social media, there's a lot of value in using what your travelers have used and what you yourself have done. And there's a lot of beauty in showing something that's real and authentic versus feeling the pressure of, I need to use Photoshop to, brighten over here and change this imagery over here. I want to see and get a feel for what I'm really going to experience. So take that pressure off of yourself of this picture's too grainy, or this isn't detailed enough, or it's not flowery enough. This is what the real experience is, and it's wonderful. And here is my proof of it. So take a little pressure off of yourself and know that that organic, authentic content really goes a long way.
And I have to say, I think my iPhone takes better pictures than my Canon. So the way the phones are today, it does all the filters that I want. So there's a lot of good content out there that's user generated.
Yeah, I was just having that conversation with someone the other day too. It's like they want to buy a fancy new camera, but I use Pixel, your iPhone, that just works so much better.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool.
Well, Missy, Helen, thank you so much for your time today, for presenting. This is a great great presentation. I really appreciate it. I'm gonna rewatch it because not only because I have to put it on YouTube, but because there was a lot of good content in here. And I look forward to seeing you both in Dallas in a couple of months.
Likewise, it would be great to see you again.
Thank you so much, Jeff, for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
All right, everyone. That's all for Rocky Mountain Asta's meeting this month, and I'll see you soon at the next one.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.